Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 10 versus 10 on Lyakhavichy, and in this one I'm going to be playing with the 26th Panzer and the balanced deployment type. This is another of the new divisions available in the Tribute to the Liberation of Italy DLC, so I'm going to be trying to show it off to the best of my ability today. You see we're already set off. I've got an MG42 leading the charge there with a Battlegroup to provide some recon on the left hand side. I've got a Pak 40 that's going to be moving into the tree line here, and some Ersatztruppen that are going to sort of spread their way across this front line that I've chosen. Then we've got the MG34 Panzergrens coming in with their half track. I've also got one of these Stug M43 105s. These are pretty high damage but low rate of fire, so they've only got 3 rounds per minute rate of fire, but their main gun, the HE, does like 4.1, which is actually quite significant. And then you've got the Stug M42 here, the smaller one with the Mod 37 75mm gun. This thing has really good rate of fire, 12 round per minute rate of fire. Also I have these coming in at higher veterancy, so that's going to help them even more with that. And I've also got that Panzer IV there as well. That is going to be able to help us out. Now, Judas Israel here, he brought in a couple of these Su-57s. These can be really bad for us to deal with because they're basically 57mm guns, like 6-pounders mounted on a half track, and they can be really tough because they fire super fast. They have that 12 round per minute rate of fire, so up against like a Panzer IV they're going to be able to do quite a lot of damage, and the 115mm of penetration is more than enough to get through a Panzer IV very quickly. So I'm very apprehensive about taking this engagement, especially when he's got a T-34 85 1944 and 2 of these 1942s behind them, the T-34 76s. So I don't want to get outgunned here, so I'm just going to let my Pak 40 sit in the cover, and that's going to be taking some cheeky shots at these T-34s. Going to be able to hit the T-34 on the left side. We're looking for another shot. Going to unfortunately miss, which was very unfortunate. That was pretty high accuracy where I missed there, but the Su-57 going to go down. I guess there's one thing that is not so great about the Su-57s is they don't really have much health, so able to take that out nice and easy. And whilst my Pak 40 is kind of distracting these tanks, my Panzer IV is sitting in the light cover here, just trying to get the shot off onto the T-34 1944 there, the T-34 85. Do manage to take out eventually with the Pak 40, and since the Pak 40 gets pinned down, going to be retreating that. This Panzer IV going to continue the engagement with the T-34 76, picks that off as well. Mortar fire coming in from Glorious is going to be very helpful there. And then the M42 going to also try and kill off the T-34, but I think the mortar round claimed that kill that time around. So not too bad. We had a really good engagement there at the start. We killed the Su-57, we killed both the T-34 76s and the T-34 85. So we're in a really good spot now, as Ersatztruppen have managed to just secure this area without anything contesting them just yet. So that's great, since McShab's Panther on the right hand side was kind of providing some pressure on this side of the river, like on our side of the river. So that was quite nice. Panzergren's going to be moving up there with the Ersatztruppen. I was kind of in a race against the Tankos here. If these Tanko Desarniki get into the tree line, then they win every time against both Ersatz and the Panzergrens with the MG34s, because the Panzergrens can't use these MG34s at close range. They have like a minimum range of 100 meters, so yeah, these Tankos would absolutely demolish us. Glorious going to continue wailing away with the mortars, which is good, and meanwhile on the left hand side things are going pretty well for our team. Crow's managed to push quite far forward, secure these tree lines. These tree lines are actually super important when you're engaging this area, and putting a lot of emphasis in taking these is super important, and he's done that with his Gebirgsjäger here. Regardless, on our side, Ersatztruppen now coming under fire from the Gvardia DP with the help of the Panther A. They are slowly getting pinned down, but I am going to have to pull away from that engagement. The main reason I pull out of that engagement is because if these guys get fully pinned, they automatically fall back, they run out into the open, they take lots of extra damage. Whereas if I manage to pull them back and get them into another heavy cover, they can recover their stress and then carry on after that. So the Tankos ended up beating us in here. You can see that my Panzer guns get caught out, which was unfortunate. Mortars in the meantime, though, from Glorious did kill off the Su-57 that was sitting here. That's gone up in flames, so that's nice because it gives a lot more freedom for my armour to move forward. So I've shifted my Panzer IV and the M43-105 over to the right-hand side, and that's going to give us some cover over this town whenever they can get some line of sight, because a lot of these buildings will be blocking line of sight, and that's always something to bear in mind. Like, even if the line of sight looks like you can hit something, like if I look at the 105, you know, as it moves up and down here, it looks like it's going to get some sort of line of sight over some of these units. Sometimes the buildings are just straight up in the way, and it doesn't really pick that up when you're looking at different elevation. Regardless, M43 going to be moving up, trying to get better line of sight into the town here. But the Ersatztruppen are under a lot of pressure, so going to be bringing up a couple of these 259s. Really nice 20mm support weapons, these, for killing off infantry at closer ranges. Do need to be a little bit worried about the PTRDs at closer ranges, but the 20mm are great. M43 comes under fire from the T-34-85 1944 here. Going to have to back up. He's backing up his 1944 because of the PaK-40. And he's going to be trying to hit that now with the ISU-152. And with a nice fire position order there from Ku, he's going to take that out. Ku being a very good team player. M43 going to be wiping out these Gvardia. I say wiping out. Doing a little bit of damage to the Gvardia. You can see how much they can help suppress, though. And if they get a nice direct hit, they can do a lot of damage with this gun, but the rate of fire really lets it down a lot as compared to the M42-75, which, you know, fires super fast. As you can see, it's the equivalent to an IG, so just unleashing multiple HE rounds. A limitation of the M42 is its HE shells, though, in a sense that it doesn't get very many. So you're going to want to keep supply nearby to resupply those, because they can be very useful, but you just got to make sure they are supplied in order to do so. 259s are going to finish off the Tanko that was behind us. They got nice line of sight from down here. And I'm just currently trying to dance these around. It might look a bit random as to where I've got them placed, but they're always placed in positions where we can't be attacked from range over here. So if Ludajad or Jesus came in again, then they would try and engage those from range. But if I just keep hiding behind all the buildings, you can see that the 259s are like almost never in line of sight. And even if they are, we can tuck forwards into these back gardens. Panzer IV going to be trying its luck against the ZIS-2 there. ZIS-2 actually turns round and engages the 251-9, which was not exactly what I wanted, because if the 259 can get like a shot on target, we can pin that down, and then that'd be job done. But Glorious helping us out a lot here with these mortars. That's the nice thing about 10v10s, is you can team up with another player in most cases to help you push through an area, like Mikshab and Mr. Tiger over here. On the left, it's going to be like Hellmark, your boy Mike, and Crow. In the middle on this hill, it's going to be Sturmsource and Jagsource. So, yeah, that's one thing I really do like about these team 10v10 games, is that you do get these sort of like partnerships going, where one's providing some sort of like I'm providing most of the main line here. Glorious is bringing up a few support units, and then he's mostly focusing on his mortar fire, which is really, really helpful because it gets rid of a lot of the awkward units that I'm finding hard to deal with. Like, I could bring up my own mortar carriers to do the same sort of thing, but Glorious Dude's been doing a great job. So, really, really helpful. Anyway, 259's going to be moving in at close range to help with the support against the Gvardia. The main thing you've got to consider here is that these 259s, they have like, I think it's 8 health. So they can take quite a few shots from these. They can take like 4 shots from a PTRD. But it is worth kind of keeping track of how much you have been hit. Spitfire coming in. It's a lovely bombing strike onto the Panzergrenadier, and there's Pioneers there. And it is going to get away with that. The PaK-43s didn't quite do enough to shoot that down. That was both the NAG over here, which is really cool, and the FLAK 43-37 over here as well. Apologies if it lags a little bit when you zoom in and out very fast, especially around towns. It can do that sometimes, because every time you zoom in and out, it renders the new buildings that have been destroyed, so if you haven't zoomed in on a town before, it can be like really quite slow. Anyway, we're just continuing to hold our front line here for the time being. I'm moving up the Panzer Grenadiers to see how much ground I can make, but we're pretty much static at the moment because Q has brought over like the T-34, 85, 1944 and that ISU. Now they originally retreated into this area, so that's why I wasn't pushing up on this left side. But turns out he actually moved them all the way over to my right flank, which is something that I didn't really realize at the time, or at least initially, and started to support here into this town instead. M42 is going to go down. There's quite a lot of T-34s up on this hill that do help take that out, and this Stug M43 does just about manage to take out the T-34 76 Razvedka there, so that was great. Panzer IV going to try and come in and flank this engagement. I was hoping to get the jump on any of these T-34s as they came forwards, but if they both come forwards at the same time like they did and aim at the same time, Panzer IV's in a bad spot. I do manage to trade one shot, but just as I start to reverse, the T-34s get the kill there. And at that sort of range, these T-34s are going to have some pretty decent accuracy. Stug going to be firing away at range, looking for the side shot there onto the T-34-85, but it manages to show its front armor just in time. With the extra veterancy from the Sapedikomroti, the T-34-85 1944 gets a really nice shot in. And one thing that you got to remember these days is that the 1944 has 2,000 meter range again, but it doesn't have APCR anymore. But what this means is at an engagement where you have 1,750 meter range, the accuracy bonus that the T-34-85 gets, especially at high veterancy, is going to be a lot more than you if you're using a unit that only has 1,750 meter range. So it's going to get like 200 or 300 meters worth of extra accuracy. However, that's scaled onto the T-34, I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, another T-34 does go down here. I managed to actually side shot it with the 259. It was pretty clutch, actually. And now I've decided to bring up a Pak 40 that's going to be moving into this back garden. And that's one thing you'll notice in this engagement is how much I use the back gardens here and how much I'm kind of trying to pay attention to the line of sight to get the better of Q and Ludajad and also Judas here. So going to be moving this up as far as I can, but keeping it on the edge of the back garden, and I've turned off both the APCR and HE, so it's not going to reveal itself by shooting at any infantry or any support weapons. It's just going to focus primarily on the T-34s, and I want to be firing AP shells because they do more damage than APCR, so we're going to be looking to get as much damage in as possible. Stug M43 here, nice ambush onto the T-34 76 1943. This thing is an absolute beast with the 170 millimeters of penetration, and you can hear it there just absolutely demolish this T-34 on the edge of the hill. So Pak 43 still looking for a couple kills, but artillery already coming in, so I'm going to have to move that out of the way. Got some serious infantry coming in to attack my Ersatztruppen. I guess the nice thing about the Ersatztruppen were that they were revealing what we're up against, and that kind of allows my 259 to engage pretty well. The Razvedka that did move up here took out my other 259, unfortunately, but I'm going to be continuing the engagement there with the Razvedka as they keep jumping back into that building. He's going to have to put them onto the hold position rules of engagement. I also lost my leader up here, that was unfortunate, but Glorious Dude has a second Panzergrenadier further back, so it wasn't the end of the world. But here comes your boy Mike with the Alcione. This has the 18 100 kilogram bombs, look at those go. Got a nice kill there on the ridge. One of the Studebaker's went down. Nice bombing strike onto some of that infantry. And he is going to get away with that quite easily, because there's not too much AA right now. Stug going to pin down the Cavadia and looking to take them out. And I do, and that's going to give us back the flag here at this train station. So that was really nice. Artillery has been coming in onto our position. Doing a little bit of damage here and there. But so far, we're just kind of chilling, holding our position as best we can. My Stug M43 did take a hit, I believe, from the T-34-85, because I found like a really cheeky line of sight through this building, like here, whilst the T-34 was in position, and I'm going to keep trying to find that shot again in the future. MG42, I moved that over to the right side of this tree line. You can see again, manipulating line of sight so that this MG can only fire at this area where the infantry is going to be moving, but cannot be shot at by anything further up. Super important. There is a defense beacon there from Burdened, as the Gepard comes under fire from the unit that was moving up through the trees here. And Glorious is now under counter battery fire from our opponent, so he's going to have to keep those 81 mils on the move. But he did make the mistake of putting these on the road, so that is going to affect our reinforcements a little bit, especially in unarmoured vehicles like this Pioneer in the Opel Blitz. So yeah, hit the off maps, or sorry, counter batteries coming in, hitting the position where his 81 mils were, and now I've got to pay attention to that. Another T-34 does go down. Brought up another Pak-40 into this position so that I could defend that against enemy armor, and so far so good. Big M42, I did move this up so that it could help engage this infantry and get the Ersatztruppen a bit of an advantage with the help of the MG42. But I'm going to have to keep backing that up again as the enemy unit did come in there, the T-34-76, and it managed to get a cheeky shot onto the Opel Blitz, which was unfortunate. Ersatztruppen do get surrendered, but the lovely thing about Ersatztruppen is you don't really care if you lose them. They're only 15 points, and as long as they're kind of holding the enemy in place, that's exactly what you want them to do. A really nice kill here onto the T-34-85-1944, managed to catch the side armor of that one as Q moves it across. 259 still able to shoot the Gavalia on the other side. So the nice thing that I've managed to get going here, MG42 is shooting into the trees from this side, 259 is shooting into it from the other side, and that stops any of this infantry from pushing forwards. You can see those Malot now falling back. ISU 152 does have line of sight onto the 259, which is something that I didn't notice really soon enough. So it does go down, but I do have the FAMO now in, and that is an 88 on wheels. Well, on tracks. And it's going to be taking numerous shots at the ISU 152. Eventually, I managed to find the killing blow. I believe it was only like a 42 or 45% penetration, so it took me a little while to actually get the shot on target. But with the 2-star veterancy, we do get quite accurate shots. It's just a matter of, finding that penetrating shot. And so, yeah, eventually we do, which was nice. Going to be shooting over now to the motorized rifles, and I really, really think these support weapons are so awesome. The FAMO here, absolute beast of a weapon. You can see the shell go flying as these fire. Look at that, really cool. And then also the M43 over here, this thing, very cool. One of my poor Kettengrads gets clipped over here. I believe that was trying to bring in a leader for me, but yeah, there it is. That guy, he's just casually sitting on his Kettengrad on fire. Lovely. But yeah, that was because, again, in the counter battery, Glorious got to keep these off the road so that doesn't happen in the future. FAMO firing away once again, blast the T-34-76, and this is just, yeah, an absolutely awesome weapon. And I was using it offensively in this position so that I could wipe out some of this heavier armor that my Stugs were having a hard time killing. It was just really, really good fun. Ersatztruppen still holding position. You see the Ersatz here are both only on one man left in the squad. But, I mean, yeah, they're still holding the ground. And that's exactly what you need. Just have a unit in there. Should probably have had it on return fire so it didn't reveal its position. But, yeah. The idea being that the Ersatztruppen hold the ground, and then you have your support units like the Stugs and the FAMO in this case engage any infantry that tries to move forwards. If you let the Ersatztruppen die, well, you lose the flag. But thankfully, I mean, and guys can see on the left-hand side, things are going very, very well for our team. Crow, Hellmark, and your boy Mike have managed to push up there. Jagd and Sturmsaws have broken off the hill with their Panthers and so on. And, well, we're still kind of struggling here with my opponents, Ludo, Jad, Rai, Ku, and Judas. There's quite a lot of players on this side of the map, and I think that's mainly well, some of the reason that they managed to push up on that side. It could have also been a bit of a skill difference, but I didn't really want to show this game because we won or anything. It was mainly because it showed off the FAMO, it showed off the M43, it showed off these different Stugs you can get in this division, the 26th Panzer, and how you use the infantry. So like using the ersatz to sponge, and then you've got like your more elite infantry that can kind of follow it up, like the Panzergrens and the Pioneers. And yeah, I guess one thing you do have to be a little bit worried about with these FAMOs is if you're engaging something directly, by default, 88s will automatically attack aircraft. So you got to make sure that when you're using this and you're attacking an enemy unit on the ground, you right-click it so that it doesn't automatically target aircraft if they fly overhead, because what that will cause you to do is fire your shot at an aircraft instead of the unit you're originally firing at, and then the unit you're firing at will fire and kick back and kill you. So yeah, you got to be a bit careful there. My Pak 40 getting flamed by one of those IS-2s, but yeah, we do manage to stave off most of those. Pak 40's kind of looking for a line of sight onto the T-34, but that could hit the Ersatz-Strippen, but the Pak 40 is just a little too close to this hill to get line of sight. Snuck up this Kubel. That's going to be looking for this MG, or for this, AT gun. Reveals it for the Panther A. Panther A gets the kill, so Kubel MG did its job there. And if you can get a kill like that, it's worth it, because this Kubel MG costs the equivalent of like 5 points. But yeah, since things are coming to a close, Q is going to drop out of this one. There's only 3 minutes left on the clock. Left side's completely broken open, so quite understandable. But here comes an Alcyone for its bombing strike. Does manage to get its bombs off. And that's going to be landing shortly onto the M42. Also kills the Panzergrenführer. Rather unfortunate. I do bring in a Werfrahmen. This is one of the big weapons that the 26th Panzer get. You can actually get 2 cards of these 280mm Werframens. They are super strong. So if you're having trouble with anything like IS-2s, bring out these bad boys, because they will get the job done. I had intended to only use like 3 rockets here and then put 3 rockets elsewhere. Like I'm putting the 1 rocket here onto the T-34-76, but your boy Mike comes in with the BF-110 with the 4 210mm rockets and blasts that T-34 out of existence. My 1 rocket was going to get pretty close, but probably wouldn't have got the kill. And yeah, I'm just kind of moving that up a little bit further because they don't have much range. Anyway, the last of my Stugs is going to die. And also my, this one, the M43 here, got caught out on the edge of the tree line. I think the Sherman ended up killing it. We're going to be moving over the FAMO again. Shooting across the river. Lining it up. And bam! Ammo explosion one-shots the Sherman 5. Beautiful hit there. Just watching this FAMO fire is so much fun. But yeah, 280mm. Reloading now. We'll use that to secure more ground if we need to. But as that's stripping once again, just on these attack move orders, pushing back forwards to reveal enemy units and allow any support or artillery to hit the mark. 57mm AT gun. Gonna get pinned down pretty fast by all the machine guns of the tanks. Do have to be careful these days about using AT guns close up. If they do miss, they will be pinned down very quickly because of the buff to suppression on tank MGs. So I'm going to remind you guys of that a lot because it is something that happened recently and I think is definitely worth noting. But yeah, 37mm going to get taken out as well there. Nice little push here coming in from Burdened and Glorious. I didn't really have much to follow it up at this point because I had lost all of my armor. But yeah, after 24 minutes, 22 seconds, it is a major victory. The left side got completely blown open. But I thought it was a fun game to show off the FAMO in action and also that big old M43 gun. So in the end, we got 1,172 kills to 910 losses. So most kills on our team, which was nice, but we did take quite a lot of losses in that engagement. Mainly because I was relying a lot on sort of medium armor when I definitely could have brought in heavier stuff. And also I could have maybe like chilled in the early game to wait for the Werframens to smash the enemy about, but that's really that's not how I play, you know. Relying on the Verstrammens is, you know, it's just a bit boring because they are so strong. But Amon here did really well with the 7th mechanized. I'm not entirely sure what he did here to get the 1,457 kills and 320 losses. Was 7th in a 10v10. That's really impressive. So good job by him. Yag doing well with his 26th Panzer, and then we also have 20th Panzer and a nice KD there from Sturmsource with the 12th SS. In terms of our kills, yeah, this FAMO did really nicely, killing the ISU 152, the T-34 76 1942, and the Sherman 5. Pack 40s did pretty well for us, killing the T-35s, T-34 85s. Whenever they get these kills, they do pay themselves off quite well. So Pack 40s, really, really nice AT guns. I also brought in all of these Stugs, like all the different types of Stugs. This one getting the T-34 76 Rozvedka and the Gvardia. Keeping the HE ammo high on these is like super nice if you can, well, it's super good if you can, because they have a really nice rate of fire. Pioneer did pretty well there, pushing forwards, and the Verflammen came and just killed the Gvardia. That was just to secure the flag on the right hand side of the position that I was taking. So yeah, managed to show off the FAMO and the Stug M43, and that was the main thing that I wanted to do in this game, because a lot of the other units we've kind of seen before, like the 259s and the Panzer IVs and all the other good stuff you can get in the 26th. But the 26th is actually quite a nice division. It's really good fun to play. ISU really did a number on us. Nice micro from Ku to get some fire position orders in there to kill things like the Pack 40. Didn't really kill much else, unfortunately, but definitely was a pain for me to deal with. It stopped me from pushing into Judas after I initially took out his T-34s, because right at the start we had a really, really good amount of kills come in with the 2 T-34 76s, the T-34 85, and the SU-57s. Like, all of them going down between myself and Glorious was really, really good. It set us up very well, but then we ended up against like 4 players, so it kind of got a bit messy after that. Yeah, anyway, quick little game to show off the 26th Panzer, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It was good fun to play. I really, really enjoy watching the FAMO obliterate stuff with the 88 on that truck. It is fantastic. Really good fun. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.